Welcome back to Mac Talks of Football, and we are back at our starting settings. The settings have been reset. We had a glitch in the world of football that Manchester United won a game of football last weekend, but thankfully that glitch has been solved today, and Manchester United have lost yet again 3-1 against our Brentford. So let's go ahead and talk about this game. Where do I start? To be very honest with you, I'm gonna give Manchester United a credit here. I think it was not as a one-sided a game that it usually has. I think it usually is. I really don't think that United were that poor in that game. The first half, I think, with the way that the game started, it was sort of a cagey affair for the first 5-10 minutes, and then Brentford really opened up, and Manchester United were not really able to cope up with them, and it is not surprising anymore. But Brentford scored that first goal, a beautiful goal by Thiago. Ball comes over the top, carves Manchester United defense open. Credit to Thiago. He held his line, takes the ball away, and scores the goal, and it becomes 1-0. And the moment that goal, the ball goes in and Brentford score, Manchester United's head drop instantly, just like that. It's so bizarre to see, the way that United players lose confidence the moment they go behind in a game, especially away to a ground like that. And when Brentford, literally, could smell blood, and they went on it, and they, started to attack and attack, and Manchester United kept going back, deep into their own half, and Brentford took advantage of that. They scored that second goal. It becomes a 2-0. And I really thought, it was going to end up being, it felt like it was going to be a bad day for United at the office. They were going to lose the game, but the way that the game was going, I really thought that Brentford were going to go ahead and score, a couple of more goals. Big credit to Bayern. I mean, the way that he defended defended in that first half, the way that he made the saves in that first half, it could easily have been 4-0, 5-0 in that first half alone. That's how poor Manchester United were in that first half, especially in the first 30 to 35 minutes. They made sort of a comeback in the last 15 to 20 minutes. The moment that they scored the goal, and it feels like the Manchester United team is running on confidence at the moment. Something good happens and they are going to be really great. Something bad happens and they are going to be absolutely terrible. It just feels like they are under so much pressure, and I'm not going to go ahead and defend Manchester United players because you are playing for Manchester United. You know what the levels are, and you need to be able to step onto the field and deal with all of that. If you cannot do that, just don't play for Manchester United. It's as simple as that. But they scored that goal. They get lucky. I mean, Carrier made 2-3 saves, and finally in the fourth attempt, Šeško scores the goal. First goal for Benjamin Šeško, a huge moment for him personally. Even though Manchester United lost the game, but for him to finally score a game after what's it, a 6th or 7th game, it is a big a relief moment for him, for the manager, for the club, for everybody, that he's finally scored the goal. They scored that goal, and then Manchester United starting coming back into the game, and they had a couple of good chances as well, but they're just not really able to have that final ball. They are not really able to put the ball in the back of the net yet again. We go into the first half, and the game sort of looks balanced. It is 2-1, but I would still say Brentford was a better side, and they looked on top. And the second half comes in, and then the game opens up, and you are having it's basically like an end-to-end game. But I would still say Manchester United had more of the possession in that second half, but they really did not create that many good chances. It felt they always lack that final ball, and it has been a problem for Manchester United this season. They are not really when they get it right, it is really good. But the problem is they are not really able to get that final ball on the perfect plate, and that has been a problem, and that's something he needs to fix. And the fact is that at the start of the season, everybody thought that the front three were perfect for Manchester United. Cunha, Mbeumo, and Šeško. Like, everybody expected them to score the goals, but they are still not really able to play together, and that is a problem that United need to fix on, because rest of the teams is already terrible. We all know that their midfield, Fernandes, again, I'm gonna come to the penalty, but in that midfield, Ugarte, he was nowhere to be seen. I mean, it was quite a bad midfield performance, and I am still not on board with his centre back changes. I don't really get it. I mean, how they showed the stat as well. Like 42 games out of the 59 he has changed his centre back in minute of the game, and that just blows my mind. You don't really do that. The momentum that the defense is having, and the way that they are playing, the communication, all of that changes, and then they have to go ahead and try to come up with another thing mid game, especially when you are already losing 2-1, when you are under a lot of pressure. I just don't understand. But he makes those saves, players comes in, and it still is not working out. I mean, the fact of the matter is, like, at 2-1, you are bringing in a centre back and a defensive midfielder. I don't get it. I will be very honest, I really did not get those substitutions. But then they have a lifeline. They get that penalty, and Bruno Fernandes says, of course, United fans are going to come in and they're going to say why, it took so much time for Fernandes. He had to wait, whatever, but we had to wait about 4 minutes. But Bruno Fernandes, I mean, you are Manchester United's captain and whatnot. He's supposed to be the best player in the team. He goes in and misses a penalty. This is like the second penalty miss of the season for Bruno Fernandes alone, and it's not a great look. Let's be very honest with you. He misses the penalty, the moment he missed the penalty, I knew Manchester United were not going to win, and they were not going to even draw that game. I knew that Brentford were going to win, because as I said, this Manchester United team, basically is so low on confidence. They basically see something that happens in the game and they react that way towards the game. If something good happens, the game level of the game increases. If something bad happens, the level of the game goes down, and that's what happened. The moment they missed that penalty, United were done. Like, you could literally see on their faces. And Brentford, again, they smelled blood and they started attacking. Manchester United, even though they tried to push them back, as I said, they really did not create that many good chances. In that second half, apart from that penalty, I cannot really sit here and say that United had won. That was the chance where United could have gone ahead and scored that second goal. There is nothing, nothing comes to mind. Brentford, on the other hand, Thiago had like 2 or 3 chances where he could have passed, where he should have passed, and then Bandy had to make a couple of good saves as well in that second half. So you can see, you can realize, and you can visualize the moments in your head where Brentford came close to score a third, a fourth goal. But in that second half, I really I don't see one moment, I cannot remember one big chance for Manchester United in that second half, and that just shows how poor they were. Even though they were the team that were chasing the game, it just shows how poor they are and how poor they have been, and it is the same team. And then Brentford go ahead and score that goal, and the icing on the cake to add salt in the wounds of Manchester United. Jen scores that amazing goal. I mean, again, United are going that one. You sort of understand, because United need to get that goal. They leave spaces in behind, and Brentford take advantage of that. On the counter attack, Janssen looks around 2-3 times just outside the box. Beautiful strike, great goal, taking nothing away from him. A wonderful goal, and it becomes a 3-1, and Brentford win that game, and Manchester United lose that game. They drop down to 14th in the table, and as I said, the settings have been reset. We are back to where we started. The glitch is over, and Manchester United have lost again. And Ruben Amorim, I really don't know, to be very honest. I just don't know what to say about him. We have said so many things every single time. Last weekend when they won also, I was not really surprised. it has happened. Shame on Chelsea for losing that game, last week's game. Nothing surprising for Manchester United, because this is their level. No disrespect to the United fans or whatever, but this is the level. They are so poor, and I really don't understand, and I don't really think that even if they sack Ruben Amorim, they are going to get better. I don't really think so, because the levels are so poor at the moment. So yeah, another disappointing result for Manchester United, another setback, and another week of what they can do and all the discussions around it. And it is going to be quite a bad day, for a bad weekend for United fans. And now they have to sit back and they have to watch all other teams, especially after losing, see how they perform when their team have lost. A massive win for Brentford, a big win for their manager as well. Winning against Manchester United is a big deal, and Brentford, they needed that win. They're now above Manchester United as well. It's early on in the season, but 3 massive points for Brentford. So yeah, that is for me in this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the game in the comment section below. What do you think can Manchester United do? Like, that is the golden question. Let me know in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 600 subscribers before the international break, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.